I just booked a 5-night stay valued at over $3,400 at a top hotel in Puerto Rico using only credit card points that I've accumulated over the past year. So in this video, I want to talk about exactly how I did this so that hopefully anyone that's watching this can understand the true power of credit cards when you use them to your advantage. So what I'm going to do here is go over what credit cards I used and how I leveraged my credit card points to get such high value when redeeming them. And throughout this video, I'll also go over some tips that I have for those of you that are looking to travel essentially for free by using credit card rewards. All right, now right off the bat here, I do just want to mention that even though I'm talking about free, sometimes there is going to be some sort of opportunity cost for what I could have used those points for instead of redeeming for travel. So in my case, I used 87,000 Chase Ultimate Rewards points to book that 5-night hotel stay, and those 87,000 points have a cash value of $870 when you redeem those points for cash directly through Chase at a base redemption rate of 1 cent per point. But I view those 87,000 points as essentially being free because all I had to do to earn them was just use my credit cards strategically within my everyday regular spending habits, and then I could accumulate points from welcome bonuses and regular points earning categories. If I had just used cash or one of my normal debit cards for all that spending that I did, I really would not have received anything in return, and that's one of the many reasons why I view credit cards as being the superior payment method to anything else out there. Now, I'm sure that some of you want to know how exactly I turned $870 worth of credit card points into a $3,400 hotel stay. So next, let me go over what my strategy was to do that. First, my girlfriend and I have been talking about going to Puerto Rico for some time now. So over the past few months, we've been looking at different hotel properties online to see which ones might be nice to stay at. We found one that was a Hyatt hotel and had some great reviews and some really nice amenities. And the fact that it was Hyatt played a major role here because I knew that Hyatt is a direct transfer partner within the Chase Ultimate Rewards system where I can transfer Chase Ultimate Rewards points at a 1-to-1 ratio into Hyatt points. This ability to transfer points like this is a benefit of one of my favorite Chase credit cards that I have, and that is the very popular Chase Sapphire Preferred. Hyatt points are actually known to be very valuable, meaning that when you look at the cash value for certain stays at Hyatt hotels and then you compare it to the points value that it would take to book the exact same hotel stay at that Hyatt hotel, there's going to be a big gap in the value there, and that's something that I could take advantage of and something that I'll get into a little bit more in just a minute here. So for those of you that are new to my channel, I'm a big fan of Chase credit cards, but specifically Chase credit cards that earn Ultimate Rewards points because this point system is one of the best in the credit card world. I currently have 5 Chase credit cards that earn these Ultimate Rewards points, and those cards are the Sapphire Preferred, the Freedom Unlimited, the Freedom Flex, an older Freedom card, as well as the Ink Business Cash. Now, the Ink Business Cash was one of my newest credit card additions from earlier this year, and the reason why I chose this business credit card for my business was because of the points categories that it has and the fact that it also has no annual fee. But more importantly to me, it also had a 75,000 Ultimate Reward Point welcome bonus after spending $7,500 on the card in the first 3 months that I had it. That, of course, is no small amount of money that you have to spend in order to get that welcome bonus, but luckily I did have a strategy in place, and I've made a previous video that I have here on my channel where I talk about my strategy behind hitting these high minimum spend requirements. Then, in addition to those 75,000 points that I was gonna get as a welcome bonus on the Ink Cash, I also had set aside a decent amount of points within my Chase account that I've earned from some of my other Chase credit cards that I have. Some of the ways that I earn points on those other Chase cards include getting 5x points per dollar on rotating quarterly categories on the Freedom and the Freedom Flex, getting 1.5x points per dollar on everything with the Freedom Unlimited, as well as a few other points categories too, but I'm not gonna get into too much detail about all the categories here in this video. But the key piece to make all those points very valuable to me in order to book that expensive 5-night Hyatt stay in Puerto Rico was going to be the Chase Sapphire Preferred that I mentioned earlier. So with Chase, I have the ability to combine all the Ultimate Rewards points that I earn across my 5 different Chase credit cards into one account. So since I know that the Sapphire Preferred has the ability to transfer points out to different travel partners like airlines and hotels, what I did was I moved all those Ultimate Rewards points to be held within my Chase Sapphire Preferred. Now next, let's jump over to my computer screen where I took some screen recordings and different screenshots throughout the entire booking process so that I can show you how I turned my Chase Ultimate Rewards points into a $3,400 hotel stay. Okay, so I've blurred out some info here, but if you look over to the right, you can see what the prices were the night that I was booking this hotel if I wanted to pay in cash. Also, just to be completely transparent here, but hotel prices do tend to move up and down because as as you can see, each night is around $529, but I was also seeing prices in the high 400s earlier in the week, so it really all just depends on a number of factors as you're booking a hotel. But anyway, not only was the hotel $529 per night, but there was also $476 in resort fees and $280 in occupancy tax, which led to a combined total of $3,402.96. Now those extra fees are going to add up obviously, but another cool thing with booking this stay completely with Hyatt points for free award nights is that actually those fees won't apply to me. Having additional fees waived like that is going to vary from one hotel chain to the next, and it's also going to depend on whether or not you're booking with points, but this was just my case in this situation. So next, let's look at my favorite screenshot here where it shows the total number of points that it would cost me for the exact same stay if I transferred over Chase Ultimate Rewards points into Hyatt points. And there it is. Like I said at the beginning of the video, it is only 87,000 Hyatt points to book the exact same 5-night stay. It's 18,000 points for 4 of those nights, and then 15,000 points for 1 of those nights, which is where that 87,000 comes from. So if we do some quick math to compare the market price in cash, including those taxes and fees, to the price that I paid in points, we can see that this is a pretty good deal to say the least. All we do is we take 87,000 points, which again are going to be converted from Chase points to Hyatt points at a 1-to-1 ratio, and we take that and multiply it by 1 cent per point to get $870, which is the cash equivalent value of those Chase points. That's because if I did not want to redeem those Chase points for travel, then I could cash them out directly into my bank account at a value of 1 cent per point for $870. Then I just divide the $3,402 cash price of the hotel stay by the $870 cash equivalent price of the Chase points to get 3.91. Now what that 3.91 represents is a comparison number, so instead of cashing out those 87,000 points at 1 cent per point, now I'm getting nearly 4 times the value in that at 3.91 cents per point. Again, full transparency here, but that calculation is accounting for those taxes and fees, but I do think it's important to include taxes and fees in that calculation because that's money that's still coming out of your pocket in order to pay cash for that hotel stay, and that cash value for the hotel stay is also considering the most recent market price as of the filming of this video, and that market price can fluctuate over time. But considering that normally Chase will allow its Sapphire Preferred cardholders to get 1 cent per point in value when redeeming for cash, or 1.25 cents per point if they redeem for travel through the Chase Ultimate Rewards portal for flights or hotels and stuff like that, which is another redemption option that I haven't really talked about yet, but it's another very popular one. But since I'm getting nearly 4 cents per point for my method of redeeming for a Hyatt hotel in Puerto Rico, I'll take that deal any day of the week. Now, I also want to mention that I'm not somebody that's consistently trying to get these very high cents per point redemption values from my Chase points or my Amex points when I'm booking travel. I really like to decide where I want to travel to first, and then I'll take a look at all my credit card points, see if I can find some good redemption options that could either completely cover the cost of travel or at least partially cover my cost of travel. If I'm being honest, I'm perfectly fine getting somewhere from maybe around 1.25 cents per point to 1.5 cents per point when I'm redeeming my points for travel. I'm really not trying to travel first class or business class when I'm flying or stay in fancy hotels, because those ways of redeeming your points are typically where you're going to find those very high cent per point redemption options. I just like to see new places, so that's why I'm okay not going for those high redemptions all the time. It just so happened that we wanted to go to Puerto Rico, and then we came across this Hyatt hotel that had this very good point redemption option, so I wanted to share it with you guys because you know that there's no way I would have paid $3,400 for this 5-night hotel stay, no matter how nice this hotel was. I'm a pretty frugal person, but I had so many different Chase Ultimate Rewards points just sitting in my account, kind of losing value, so I was happy to basically get this vacation for almost free. So lastly, for this video, I just want to share a few quick tips that I have for anyone watching this that wants to do something similar and take advantage of credit card points and benefits to travel essentially for free. So first, go ahead and subscribe to my channel below because it's completely free to you, and I'm always posting new content every single week about credit cards and other personal finance topics. Of course, I just had to mention that here. Second, try to get the highest welcome bonuses available for the credit cards that you want to apply for. That's because with credit cards, welcome bonuses are typically where you're going to capture the most value from those cards, not from the everyday points earning categories. One of the biggest things that allowed me to book this Puerto Rico trip was getting the 75,000 point welcome bonus on my Chase Inc. Business Cash Card. And recently, the Chase Sapphire Preferred was offering a welcome bonus that was as high as 100,000 Ultimate Rewards points after spending $4,000 on that card within the first 3 months that you have it. Now that offer on the Sapphire Preferred has dropped down to its typical amount of 60,000 Ultimate Rewards points as of the filming of this video. video in late 2021. So if you want that credit card, which is definitely one that I recommend because it made this entire trip possible, then I might recommend that you hold out on getting the Sapphire Preferred just until Chase hopefully raises that welcome bonus offer to another elevated level once again. But if you're okay with the 60,000 points, which is still a very good offer, then you can go ahead and get the Sapphire Preferred because that's the welcome bonus that I actually got when I signed up for that card about 2.5 years ago. And a third tip that I have is to understand and research what credit cards will work best for your spending habits and what you're looking to do. You may find that you prefer to have only no annual fee cards or only cashback cards, and that's completely fine because those types of credit cards can still provide a lot of really good value, plus they're a little bit easier to manage and understand as well. But if you want to travel basically for free with credit card points, then one place that I like to recommend to most people when they start looking at travel credit cards is the Chase Trifecta setup. This is a very simple credit card setup that only consists of 3 cards, 2 with no annual fee and 1 with an annual fee as little as $95. I have many videos here on my channel where I talk about Chase credit cards, the Chase Trifecta, as well as some other credit cards too. So I'll link some of those videos on the screen right now if you want to go check them out to learn more. But that's it for this video. As always, I just want to say thank you so much for watching all the way until the end. I hope that you have a great day and I'll see you in the next one.